Just put in just the indication of a happy little water line that lives here. Now if you get one that's maybe a little too strong or too bright, just go back and rub it. The more you rub it, the lighter it'll get, because it'll just be absorbed right into the color it's underneath. No big deal. And if you've painted with me before, you know without question that we don't make mistakes here. We just have happy accidents. But you learn to use anything that happens. Okay, maybe right there. And little ripples. But notice how all these lines are basically straight. If they're not, it's going to look like your water's going to cross. Get our little roll of paint. And we can go right up in here. And then let's just begin cutting in a little water line. Push very hard. Act like you're trying to cut a hole right in the canvas. You're not going to hurt this canvas, I don't think. Sure as I say you won't, somebody will tell me they did. But normally, you're not going to hurt it. It's very tough, very strong. Guess you could take a running start and hit it with a knife and put a hole through it. But other than that, it's pretty difficult. Pretty difficult. There. And maybe we'll just let that come right on over. I don't know, wherever. Maybe there's even a little doer out here in the water. Sometimes it's nice to have a little thing like that. All right. Decisions. Oh, let's have some fun here. We'll take a little bit of liquid white. Let's put in just a little water, right? A little water line right into here. There. See, just sort of let that just go right around in there, wherever you want it. Wherever. There. On the other side over here, I have a little one right in here. But I want this one to look like it sort of curves around. So just do that like that. And I'll put it in there first for refill. Let's take a little bit of the liquid white and we'll put it on the palette. I'm going to add the least little touch of bright red to it, least little touch. Just enough to warm it up. Pull it out very flat and cut across. Okay, let's go up in here. And with that, we'll just add us a little water line right in here. Just a little divider between the trees and the reflections. A little light between the darks. There we go. That little light area is what will separate and make everything stand out. Just that little light area. Isn't that neat? This is a very, very simple little painting, even if you've never painted before. This is one you could do on your first or second attempt. But when you first start, expect to run into some difficulties because you have to think about things and figure out how they work and put a little bright red in it. Just a little. Just enough to warm it up. And we'll go right up there and we'll just put in a happy little water line. Lives right along in there. There. See? But that little bit of pink that you put in that just sort of makes it go with the painting and sort of makes it just stand out. I like that. There we go. All right. Touch a bright red to it, just enough to warm it a little. Go across, get our little edge of paint right out there in the end. And let's put a little water line. Maybe there's one right there, like so. There's one. If it's too distinct, too bright, just wipe your knife off, go back over it. The more you rub it, the more it'll go away, until it just disappears. See there? Now we got a little water line that's right there at the base of all this. But make these lines basically straight. If they're not straight, it'll look like your water's going to run out of your painting, and that'll bother you. I know sometimes you've looked at paintings, and you'd look at the painting and something like so. A little bit of the liquid white, put a water line into here. Something about like that. I like these kind of paintings. I say they'll give you a lot of practice with the old knife, and that's what you need. That's what you need. A few little sticks over here. Just scrape right through the paint, let the canvas show through. To warm it a little. Cut across, get a little bit right on the edge of the knife. We can go up in here and just begin putting in a waterline. There. Isn't that nice? A little bit of pink in there, it just sets it off. Just sets it off. But you don't want to overdo it. It's easy to overdo. There. Just something about like that. All right. I like these kind of little paintings with the black gesso. I think the black gesso and all the colored gessos that we've introduced is one of the neatest things in painting. I don't know why somebody hadn't done that a long time ago. It's now, colored gessos are just about a standard in the art world now. There we go. But you can make all kind of effects. All right, liquid white, cut across it. We'll go right up in here and just put in a little tiny waterline is right there. This is just a light area between the two darks. It sort of separates. And it also looks like little places where snow's laying out in the water. There. There we go. Isn't that nice? Maybe there's a big old thing out in here. Whatever. It's up to you. Up to you. And I'm going to add a small amount of the bright red, very, very small amount. Cut across. Then we can go right up in here and just act like you're trying to cut a hole right in the canvas. There. Take out really all your hostilities here. Just really get tough with it. Just back and forth like you're trying to saw a hole through there. This will create the illusion of a little water line. It also is a nice light area between the darks. It separates. Makes everything really stand out and look good. Okay. Go cut across. Okay, let's go up in here. Get a little roll of paint. And with a knife, we'll just cut in a little water line. Something that lives right along in here. About like that. See how easy that is? Now, water lines in your painting should be basically straight. You can go anywhere you want to go with them. But because the water is flat, they should be basically straight at all times. Or it just won't look right. It'll look like your water's going to run right out of your painting. And it's bad when you have to tie a bucket on the side of your painting to catch the water. It sort of offends people when they look at your paint. There. All right. Now then, little water line. We'll take that same old color. This is just liquid white. Liquid white. Pull it out flat. We're going to cut across, just like we did in the background. And let's put us a little water line right under here. This little light area sort of separates the two darks. And if you get one that's too bright, all you have to do is just rub it a little bit. See there? Once again, though, you want to keep these lines basically straight. Something like that. There. You can have a little ripple here and there. Like that. Take a clean knife, and we just pop in indication. A few little sticks, little twigs that live out here. Wherever you want them. Some on the other side too. Then we can go right up in here, and let's just cut in a little water line. It lives right there. Right there. That's all there is to it. These water lines should be basically straight, though. By that I mean going back and forth across. Because if they're not straight, your water will look like it's going to run right out of the painting. You might have to tie a bucket on the side of it to catch the overflow. There. Maybe down in here there's a little ripple. Whatever. Whatever. It's up to you. Totally and completely. There we are. Like that. Now then, let's take a little bit of the liquid white. Liquid white it's just an oil-based medium. And we use it to thin paint, we use it to cover the canvas, and we use it to make water lines. Just cut across. Can you see that? Just cut across with a knife. Then we can go right up in here, and let's just cut in a little water line. It lives right there. Right there. That's all there is to it. These water lines should be basically straight, though. By that I mean going back and forth across. Because if they're not straight, your water will look like it's going to run right out of the painting. You might have to tie a bucket on the side of it to catch the overflow. There. Maybe down in here there's a little ripple. Whatever. Whatever. It's up to you. Totally and completely. There we are. Like that. And we can come right in here. Zoom. Cut in a little water line indication. This is just a light area between the darks, that's all. Just a little light between the dark. All right. Wherever. Something like that. Let's do that slow so you can see it. Cut across. Let's go up in here. Then we can take, and with that, just cut in the indication of just a little water line that lives right up in there. Something like that. I don't want a real distinct one, just a hint. Just a hint of color right in there, like so. There we go. All right, now already, look at the amount of depth and distances in that. It's that simple. Just by varying the shades. Now you could even go in here and take your knife and cut in little sticks and twigs, sometimes in between all these little areas. See, there they come. All of those little things help create the illusion of distance in your painting. There we are. That's enough to get us started. But we spent a whole week at Daytona Beach, and we painted together, and we had a good time. Boy, we had a lot of fun. And then we went to New Smyrna Beach, and all of our instructors went out and painted. The public was invited. We spent a whole day out in the park painting. We all got sunburned. Even my bald spot on top of my head got burned. There, but we had a lot of fun. Before it's over with, take a little liquid white. I'm gonna cut across it, and with that, I'm gonna make a little water line. Just a little indication. I don't want a strong water line in this painting. Just enough to sort of clean up the edges a little bit. So there we are. There we are, wherever you think they should be. Something like so. All right. We can put a little ripple on the water here and there. Now, these water lines and ripples both, keep them basically straight, or it'll make your water, even like here we came down a hill, but notice these lines are basically straight. If you don't do that, your water's going to look like it's going to run right out of the side of your painting, and you may have to tie a bucket on the side to catch it. Don't want to have to do that. A few little indications here and there. Shoot, I think we about have a finished painting. So they'll be there the next time I come. We'll take a little of the liquid white on the knife and just cut in an indication here and there of a little water line that just sort of floats around. Just sort of a little light area that's between these darks. There. That's all there is to it. But act just like you're trying to cut a hole right through the canvas. Right through the old canvas. And canvas is tough. Chances are you're not going to hurt it. You'd have to take a running start and hit it to damage it. On top of the blade right here. Just a little. And with that, we can go right up in here and just cut in a happy little water line. There. There we go. This little one right up in here. There we are. And maybe right on out through here. Wherever you think they should be. There. Okay. The reflection back there. See, I changed my mind again. This has been a wonderful painting for changing your mind. I'm gonna take a little liquid white. Little liquid white. And just put in just a little water line. There. Something about like that. Wherever you want them. See, I really should have done that before I put that tree in, but But I just decided this was where it should be. And when you're painting like this, you can change your mind. A little bit of the liquid white. I really do hope you enjoy seeing all the little animals, because as I've mentioned before, they play a very, very important part in my life, and I like to share them. I still have Midnight the crow, the little crow that was shot, that can never be turned loose. He can't fly, his wings all messed up. We take care of Midnight. And there it is, we had some brown and white we had mixed up earlier. So with that, we'll just come right in here and put some little highlights. Back to our liquid white. We use a liquid white here just to make a little water line underneath. So it's sort of a little separator. Separates your two dark areas. There, that easy. That easy. About like that. All right. Now we can take a clean knife, and all I'm going to do is go in here and just scrape in, mainly in the dark areas. And I'm going to jump all around just to put in an indication of some little sticks and twigs and all kinds of little things that live here in our world. Just wherever you want them. There, right? Okay. And with that, let's put a few over here too. I don't want this side left out. If you turn the knife sideways, it makes wider sticks. If you want little sticks, go straight in because the blade's very thin, see? And that way you can make a whole variety of different kinds of sticks and branches in your world. We said this was going to be winter. So over here, I'm going to do that same basic thing, only with white. Yeah, we'll take some liquid white and pull it out very flat. This is just liquid white on the knife, just cutting across. Let's put a little water line back there. And we'll come right in here, put a little water line that follows right through, goes right through. Just let that scene continue. Right on through. We're actually doing two paintings at one time here. There we go. Maybe there's even a little ripple here and there, wherever, up to you. And we go up here, take that, and we can literally, we'll just cut us in a happy little water line. Lives right in here, like that. There. All right. And you could put a little ripple or two in the water if you want. It's up to you. Up to you. There. But all these lines need to go basically straight across. There, it comes right on around. There we are. Take a little touch of the liquid white, pull it out as flat as I can get it. And we'll put a little water line back here. Just a little light area to sort of separate the two darks. There. And a little bit right in here. All right. And maybe firm pressure right along in here. Like that. Firm pressure. There we go. Really get in there and work it. But isn't that a neat way to make a little seascape? And as I say, if you've had trouble with seascapes before, this might be the answer to your problem. Because it's very simple, it works. Put another little deuter out there. Firm pressure. I want that nice edge to be there. And you need to wipe the knife continually, get the paint off. There. Running around something like that. A few of these little deuters, we can bring them. See, it's up to you. You make the decisions. You make the decisions. Wherever you want them to be. All right. Just all kinds of little things happening in here. Pick up a little of that color, bring it down. It creates the way the water is going to flow. That easy. All right. Pull it out as flat as I can get it, cut across. Then we can come back in here. And we'll put in a little water line. Just a little water line. It's just a light area between a couple of darks to break it up. Something like so. There we are. Now what happens if you make one that you don't care for? It's hard to get rid of. Let's make one intentionally. There's one I don't like. Now if you do that, take your brush, grab it, and just pull straight down. See? It just works right out. Don't worry about it. There. You know, in some of the series a long time ago, we did a couple of shows that just showed how to correct mistakes. Maybe we'll do some more of those. I did that because I've got several letters recently asking what happens if you do a waterline that you're not happy with. How can I fix it? Now you know. It's one of the easiest things are to fix, because we don't make mistakes. We absolutely don't. We have a happy accident every so often. Maybe we'll just make the indication just by doing this. It's all you have to do. Just like this. Just enough so that it separates. And we can begin putting little things like that. And if you just rub that very hard and keep it pretty level, when this is all done, it'll look like, well, watch, it'll look like there's maybe a little river back here somewhere. But it's far away. We don't want a lot of detail in it. Far, far away. Just something like that. And we'll come along and we'll put something in the foreground. But maybe there's some little rapids back here that it's slowly running over. And it's just to give an indication. Too far away to have a lot of detail in it. All right. We don't know where it goes back here. Don't know that we even care. Doesn't matter in our world. Something about like that. Okay. And just a little of it. I want to put the indication, just a small amount. A little watery line lives right down at the bottom. There, that easy. Let's put a little water line. For that, we'll use a liquid white. Pull it out very flat, flat as you can get it. Cut across, okay? And we can go right up in here. And we can just drop in just a little water line. Just a happy little water line lives back in here somewhere. We don't know where it is. Don't know that we even care. Just let your imagination take you anywhere you want to go. A lot of times I start a painting and have nothing in mind but the time of day and the time of year. And from that, you can paint some fantastic little scenes. Don't worry about it. You don't always have to have a perfect vision in your mind of what it is you're going to paint. Imagination is, it's like any other muscle in your body, or like a muscle in your body. The more you practice,